Essentially, the overall goal of ASPRA is to develop a evidence-informed process for making education policy decisions. And when we talk about policy, we're talking rather broadly, so legislative, executive, Department of Education, superintendent, so we're talking about policy at sort of a broader level. And within that, to meet that goal, we really have 4 major objectives that the Alliance is working on over the next 4.5 years. The first is to come together and develop a shared policy research alliance agenda around which we can get some consensus and some energy. That focuses on college and career readiness. That was the topic that sort of emerged out of initial conversations about what we wanted to focus on. But we'll continue to work with the Alliance to bring people together, build consensus, talk about what are the most important priorities within that area that we want to look at. The second is to have an opportunity to examine evidence and data for effective policies and programs. So the event today that you all are at is one example of being able to do that. Third, the REL Northwest contract funds research studies. Currently, we are working on a study that's looking at trajectories of students after they exit high school. Where do they go? So it builds on some of the work that the Department of Labor has been publishing in the Alaska Trends reports and trying to look at that more in detail. And then fourth, there will be some activities around how do we actually make sense of this mountain of data, and mountain of information, and mountain of evidence. How do we decide what's useful, what's appropriate, what's credible? So there'll be some activities around how do we think about that. I think if we were to ask every one of you in the room, what does it mean to be college, career, or life ready, we would have as many definitions as we have folks in the room. So the most common is the ACT definition, which defines college readiness as the level of preparation a student needs to be ready to enter and succeed in their first year of credit-bearing courses at a post-secondary institution. They argue that workplace readiness is the same level of knowledge and skills. So this is a very narrow, focused definition of what college and career ready is. And as the ASPRA Alliance continues to work together, we'll continue to grapple with what does that really mean for Alaska. We've sort of already started thinking about the different components of what might need to be looked at in college and career readiness. High school preparation for college and or career, accessing high quality post-secondary education, persistence and success in post-secondary education, transition into careers, and life skills readiness. The majority of what we will be talking about today will be in these first 3 categories. But that certainly doesn't mean that the bottom 2 are not important or not something that we will focus on. It's just that the report that we're talking about, the evidence that we're talking about, really focuses on these areas.